promises to be a momentous press conference this afternoon. As you can see, the press room is pretty much packed to capacity. The cameras are in place for Xavi's entry through the door on the right. And there he is, the man of the moment, Xavi Hernández, the man with the most appearances in the history of FC Barcelona. Quite extraordinary scenes, as you can see. The mediator is going to give the instructions. He's asking the cameramen to take their seats. And explaining the usual routine, how each journalist has to ask has to give their name before they speak and to turn their mobiles off, etc.
Sisplau, si podem anar acabant, sisplau.
He's just calling for calm in the room.
Hi haurà un temps determinat de roda de premsa, eh? Gràcies. Tranquils. Marc.
Bé, bueno, bon dia a tothom.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Before we begin the questions, I'd like to announce and confirm that I'm leaving Barca at the end of the season. It's a definitive decision, a difficult decision. Not being a simple or easy decision. I've consensuated, I've agreed this with my wife and my family, my people. I think this is the time to leave. That's what I feel. I think it was a good idea to stay for another season at the club. You can see we've had a great season, but I think this is the time to leave. I'm not playing as many minutes this season, not participating as much. I still feel important, but I feel that this is a time for a change of air. I feel that in my head and in my body, not so much in my heart, but I just think it's the time to leave. It's very, very difficult to make this decision, but this is the time. I think I need a change of air, both myself and my family. There's an exciting project in Qatar, so I shall be playing for SAT in Qatar, where I signed a contract. So I'll be in Al Sadd for 2 seasons, with the option to one other. It's an important project with his 2 brothers, working with a youth project that he's excited about working in as well. So it's not just about playing football, but also being able to start working towards being a manager in the future. And this is the ideal and most privileged place to learn to be a footballer and in future to learn to become a coach. He's also working with the ambassador towards the next World Cup, and that's something that he and his family are excited about. I say it was difficult to think what time to leave, but I'm glad about how everybody has shown their faith in me until the end of the season. I was offered another option to renew my contract a couple of weeks ago, but no, I'd already made my mind up. I feel that I have to go now. I need to change, a change of air. Also thanks to the supporters in the last few games especially. They've been spectacular. They've been chanting my name, asking me to stay. I hope I haven't disappointed anybody, because a lot of people have asked me to stay here. But I really think that this is the time to stop and start thinking about my future. My main objective is to come back here at some point and work. I'll be leaving to work on a project in Qatar that I'm very excited about, my family too, but my ultimate aim is to come back here. This is my home, whether that's as a manager or as a director of sport. We shall see in the future. Well, I think that's all I have to say. So, if you have any questions.
Marc?
Sí, Marc Guillén de Barça TV. Hola, Xavi. Has dit que estaves, o que creus que has encertat quedant-te un any més. M'agradaria preguntar-te per què, com has viscut...
You say you think it was a correct decision to stay for one more year. Why do you think...
O per què decideixes i creus que realment és aquest moment que ens expliques que has de marxar?
And if you can explain a bit more detail why you think this is the moment to leave. I think the team are playing spectacularly. When I've played, I've felt useful. Last summer, I said that I wanted to continue feeling important and useful to the team. But now, yes, when they speak about the first 11, my name doesn't come up so much. And after 15 years of being a regular starter, it's quite difficult to get used to not always starting. But I've dealt with that with humility, with sacrifice. And I'm always proud to wear this shirt. I've tried to perhaps step aside a bit, or perhaps concentrate more on doing what I can to support the team and the group. I've tried to work with humility, and I've enjoyed doing it. I do still, can't say I've still felt useful and important for the team. Perhaps not so much at some stages of the season, but and I feel that I have played an important part in this team that's on the verge of possibly winning the treble, that's played such wonderful football, and it's been a delight to form part of that. But I'm sorry, I just think this is the time, it tells me in my heart that this is the time I should be leaving. I've been in the club for 25 years, and I think now it's the time to go somewhere else. But I've got this club, it's in a fantastic moment, they could win the treble. We've won the league. Next Saturday is going to be a great celebration, which I think the fans deserve. I think we're capacitated to make history. So I'm very, very happy with how the season's gone and to have been a part of that.
Jordi Borda de Catalunya, Ràdio Catalunya Informació. M'imagino que és tot un procés de reflexió, però m'agradaria preguntar-te si hi ha algun moment que identifiques tu com el moment que prens la decisió definitiva.
Asking if there was any particular moment when he made his mind up.
Quina diferència hi ha respecte a l'estiu passat a l'hora de prendre...
And why is this summer different to last summer?
Sí, a l'estiu passat potser el moment era precipitat, era un moment...
Last summer perhaps it was, I was thinking ahead of myself a bit. My sentiments were a bit weak. We'd had disappointments here in Barca before season. The World Cup was a big disappointment. Since then, I've had a whole year to think about it. You know, the board of directors came and gave me a wonderful offer to stay until 2018. But I turned it down. I just think it's time to go. Like I say, in my head, in my body, I feel that. In my heart, not so much, because Barca has always been part of my heart. But I just think I made the right decision. I'm not playing as much football as perhaps I used to. I don't feel I'm such a regular member of the first 11 as I was before. I think this is the time to step aside. So will you come back as manager? I don't know. As manager? Give me a little chance to rest, please, first. I want to stay involved in football. That's what I like. And I'm going to carry on playing football because I can. Okay, it's going to be a different level, a less competitive championship, the Qatar League. But I still think there's things that I can learn while I'm there. But it's not just about learning football. Me and my brothers will be there working on another project as well. I'll have my family there, and I think it's a good personal goal. I don't know if I'll come back here as manager, director of sport or something, but I spoke a lot with Puyol last year, what he was doing, and I would like to do something similar, because this club is my life. I'm always dedicated to Barca, and this is the place where I would like to come back. He's just asking the cameramen to stop taking pictures. 3 more games with Barca, Saturday and 2 finals. Could there be a better way to leave than winning the treble? Well, the script has worked out perfectly, as if it was made to measure. But now we really have to focus on the 2 finals and win them. They're not going to be easy at all. But I have to say, the script couldn't have been better. We've won the league, which is really the most special and difficult tournament to win. The most real, perhaps, because it reflects the work over the course of a whole season. On Saturday, we're going to lift that trophy, and I'm very excited to lift the trophy for the last time in front of these supporters. So it's a very special moment for me at the end of my career at Barca. So it couldn't have been a better way to end my time here, and I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. When did you decide to tell your teammates about your decision? Obviously, you spoke to the directors as you were negotiating. Well, some of my teammates have gradually been finding out. Today, I told the whole squad and the manager officially. But I think they generally knew. When me and my family went to visit Qatar, it was fairly obvious that I was interested in going there. Yeah, for several months I've had this idea in my head. It's been easy, and it wasn't made easy when the club came forward with an offer to renew my contract. That made me rethink quite a lot. But no, I've made my mind up. This is time to go.
Hola Xavi, Silvia Ortiz, Cadena COPE. ¿Cómo te gustaría que se te recordase en el mundo del fútbol?
How would you like to be remembered in the football world by the fans? I don't know. I leave that up to you, really. But somebody who gave everything he can for Barca and for the Spanish national team. I've always tried to play for the group, for the team. More than anything else, I just enjoy playing football. And I'd like to be remembered for someone who always did the best he could. But I think really it's for my teammates and for the managers and for you people to say these things. I don't really like talking about myself in that way.
Buenas tardes. El único pero a esta marcha es que no te puedes retirar aquí, acabar tu carrera aquí. Lo digo porque te puedes retirar con un triplete, habiendo levantado todos los títulos, la Liga, la Copa, la Champions. Te vas cuando tú quieres o sientes que te tienes que ir, pero ese es el único pero.
Is the only kind of but the fact that you're leaving the club when it has just won the treble? No, not at all. I'm really happy. I couldn't have had a greater career here. If we go back to the start, I don't know if things would have worked out as well. So I'm very happy with how my career has gone. I think I've made the most of my assets as a footballer. I have to say I'm very, very happy. I feel happy right now. Really, it's just a question of winning these 2 trophies that are left to win. Say goodbye to the supporters. On Saturday, I'd like to say goodbye in a special kind of way because they've treated me so incredibly over the years. I say I'm really happy. It's an exciting moment that my career is coming to an end at this particular moment.
Hablar de mejores momentos resulta difícil porque has vivido tantos y el palmarés es tan grande, pero sí que de todos estos años a nivel Barça.
He's asking, talking about Barca, not Spain, what moment would you pick out as your fondest memory of your time at the club? That's difficult. So many years. It's been 17 years in the first team. About nearly 25 years in the club. just being at Barca is what's made me happy. I couldn't have been in a better place. It's the best club in the world. I have very strong feelings for this club. I've been very happy at this club. Perhaps the friends that I've made, not just here, but in the national team, the friends I made in the youth system, even the presidents. I've got on well with all the presidents. So many different friends I've made in football, and I've enjoyed from the first moment until the last second. I've enjoyed my career here, and those are the memories I'm going to be taking away. I'm really happy with how everything has gone.
Xavi Lemus de TV3. Durant aquests dies, molts mitjans hem parlat amb gent que ha estat amb tu aquí al club durant molts anys, que et coneixen molt bé, i gairebé tothom coincideix en considerar-te una mica l'essència de l'ADN del joc del Barça, d'aquest millor Barça de la història.
People saying that Xavi is the essence of the DNA of the greatest Barca team in history. Do you feel that? I don't know. I don't really like speaking about myself. It sounds, I don't like to sound arrogant. Let's just say I'm very happy with the way things have gone. I'm a student of Barca and I've done the things that I was taught here. And I think my performances have been good. I've tried to put into practice the things that I've been taught. Barca's style of football is a very complex one, but I think I've managed to work those concepts to perfection, and I've been trying to do that throughout my career, so I'm really happy. The way things have worked out, the way I felt very, very important in this team, and that's what I'm taking away, feeling that I've contributed to the team.
Perquè la teva carrera ha coincidit amb els millors anys de la història del Barça.
Talking about how his career has coincided with the greatest years in Barca history. Is that coincidence? Or is it has a lot to do with what Xavi himself contributed? No, there's not coincidence. There's not many coincidences in life. There's a lot of work behind this. Not just the players that put the ideas into practice, but all the trainers and what happens in the academy. It's extraordinary. And it's the way that one generation of homegrown players all came together at one time, playing to perfection the complex system that we have here at Barca and playing some fantastic football. We're still playing fantastic football. I think there was a whole generation that can still continue winning things. There's a treble on the verge of being possibly won. For the last 12 years or so, I formed part of a very important generation. But it's not just been me. All that work with the academy, with all the different trainers, is also responsible for that, and all my different colleagues over the year, all the different people that work for Barca are all participating in some way or other in the ultimate success of the team.
Aquí, Jordi. Te'n vas amb nostàlgia I, en segon lloc,
question about nostalgia, and is your future to come back here soon? Nostalgia, of course you get hit by nostalgia, but I have to say I'm happy because things have worked out so well here. I couldn't have asked for more. I mean, it's been just fantastic, extraordinary, and in my own home, in the best club in the world, I felt immensely happy. The future, look, I'm excited about the project I had. My family's involved in it, in Qatar. The ideal project for me, because it'll be a chance to start working towards being a manager or a director of sport. And I'm not hiding the fact that I would like to come back and be associated to Barca again in the future. Right. My main object is to learn to ultimately return here.
Xavi, aquí. Toni Padilla, Lara, felicitats per la carrera. Un cop has comentat que si poguessis guanyar la Champions 20 cops, guanyaries 30, perquè també sabies com era el Barça de complicat quan les coses no anaven bé i els teus primers anys al primer equip van ser anys complicats. Et podies imaginar llavors que tot això acabaria així?
Talking about the difficult years, perhaps when Xavi was first starting out and Barca was struggling a bit, did you imagine that you'd go on to win 3 Champions Leagues? No, we've had to fight very hard. We've had a lot of footballing difficulties, and when things don't work out well, at this club, then if you go back to the 80s and 90s, perhaps the football was more physical, and then Johan Cruyff arrived and changed the style, bringing in a more technical, skills-based style of football.
Quan sigui parlar de futbolistes més físics o jugar d'una altra manera, el Barça ha guanyat I guanyarà històricament jugant de la manera que tots volem.
People talk about different eras when we've been more physical, but Barca have won their titles playing the kind of football that we've really wanted to play.
No ha sigut una carrera fàcil, evidentment.
And it wasn't easy at all, particularly in the early days. People didn't believe in me. There were lots of doubts about me, whether I belonged in the team. So I was the protagonist at times when we were winning things, but hey, there were times when I was the protagonist when we weren't winning and I was getting blamed for things. So don't think it's been an easy career. But I've always had Barca in my heart and always fought hard for my place. And the things that I've learned over the years have been the impetus for me to continue and stay here.
Javier Miguel, del diari Esport. Ara que has parlat de la teva mare, ha sigut la persona més difícil de la família per convèncer-la, perquè me'n recordo que quan vas rebre fa molts anys una oferta del Milan.
Question about his mother and how once he got an offer from Milan and his mum said, no, you're not going to Milan. Yes, she didn't know I had an offer to renew my contract and we haven't had the chance to speak about it. And she's a tough, we're very Barca fans at home. Then the strongest Barca sentiment in the family is my mother. And the one who suffered most throughout my career is her. Yeah, last year she was pretty strong with me to tell me to stay here for another year. But this year I've tried to ignore my mother and people and make the decision that I think is the correct one. Talking about his ability to direct the team as a player, as a captain. But also talking about how he's managed to calm fires when things have taken off between different players, and if there's any incident that he could mention. What are you saying, that I'm a fireman? I'm not here to put out fires, I'm here to play football. But yeah, of course we have personality clashes between the players, with the directors and things. Footballers are not an easy kind of person to deal with. They're not easy to live with, and there are always problems. If you want to look at this year and a certain problem back in January, that was the easiest of all, eh? You discuss things, you communicate, you come to agreements, and that's why we've got the captains. They're here to sort these problems out. These problems always occur every year. You get 2 or 3 issues that come up over the course of a season, but we always sort them out eventually. He's been to Qatar, he knows what Qatar's like, but what have they said? Guardiola, Hierro and Raúl, who've all played in Qatar before. Me and Guardiola have exchanged messages, but we haven't actually spoken. I spoke to Raúl last week, and I'm very excited about carrying on playing football, and the facilities at the club in Qatar are fantastic. I think we can do a very good job there, and it's also a question of working with the players there. Not just me, but my brothers and my sister. Our intention is to go there and start learning for the future and to be better in the future. How did Messi react when he learned that he wouldn't have you in the team next year? And is it going to be difficult now playing in midfield and looking up and you don't have Messi up front? Not just Messi. It's going to be difficult just not wearing the Barca shirt after wearing it for, what, 11, 12 years? No, it's more than that. With Messi for those years. But they've been unique moments, special moments, and I've wanted to make the most of all of them. I really didn't want this time to end because I've always wanted to play for Barca. I've been dreading this moment, but Hey has come, and I'll miss Leo, I'll miss Bussy, I'll miss Andres, Jordi, I'll miss all of them. These have been friends of mine throughout my career. Victor Valdés, Puyol, now Xavi. Is this the legendary part of Barca that made history, leaving? And who can fill the gap that Xavi has left behind? Hey, Barca will carry on winning and competing and playing well. History shows that. Important players have gone. People have said it seemed like it was a collapse, but we've always rebuilt and continued. And with me, I think the same thing's going to happen. They're going to bring through new players, also bring in players from outside, and players that are already in the squad, as you've seen this season. I don't think there'll be a problem. Barca will continue to be a great club, no doubt about that.
Jamie Stone para Beansports Estados Unidos. Tú mismo has dicho que en los últimos partidos has escuchado casi todo el Camp Nou unánimemente.
You said that the fans were chanting your name in recent games. What goes through your head at moments like that? You know, you wish that you could stay. You know, it gives you goosebumps. It really does. There's many moments throughout my season I've had goosebumps, but these last few weeks especially, and I'm thinking, well, perhaps why not stay here? Perhaps I'm making a mistake. But no, I've discussed this, especially with my wife and my family and friends, my people, and we've come to the conclusion that this is the time to go. But obviously when you hear the fans chanting your name, it makes you think again. And especially when they offered me the chance to renew my contract, and you think, oh. But no, I think this is time to leave. It really is.
En aquests gairebé 25 anys al Barça, quina és la bronca d'un entrenador dels que has tingut que més amb el temps?
So what's the biggest telling off from a manager in your time here? Oof, there have been lots of those. Perhaps more moments of tension with Van Gaal, a lot. He wasn't just a manager, but he was he was a very good trainer of people. And you know, he had a lot of wisdom. He knew an awful lot. A very in-depth player, and but there were moments of tension with him. And perhaps that's also, though, when I most matured as a footballer. But then there was Rijkaard, there was Pep, Tito. Tito had a certain personality. And now with Luis, Será Ferrer, don't forget as well. Shouldn't forget anybody. You can remember a lot of conversations with managers and teammates.
Hola, Xavi, aquí, Mari Robert de BTV. Per característiques, quin dels teus companys creus que ara ha d'assumir el rol de Xavi al terreny?
Who do you think has the right characteristics to take over Xavi's role as central playmaker? Well, that's difficult.
Una llosa d'aquest tipus, com em va caure a mi en el seu moment, en ser el substitut del Pep.
You know, basically I came in as a substitute of Pep Guardiola, and that was a huge responsibility. Very difficult to sort of erase the memory of him before. So, but nobody really was a successor of Pep, and I don't think somebody will be a direct successor of me. I think the team's more important than any individual. You've seen that this year they've played without me in the team, and they've managed to deliver brilliance, regardless.
Tú que siempre has sido un futbolista muy inteligente, sabes que el patrocinio de Qatar ha sido muy polémico.
Talking about the sudden controversies perhaps around the Qatar sponsorship.
Culpado mucho a la directiva de este patrocinio. ¿Has valorado que esto pueda... ¿Cómo lo has valorado para ti, para tu imagen?
How he's evaluated the idea of Qatar along with his image. No, this is a very, like I said before, exciting project for me. The Qatari people have treated me and my family extraordinarily. They've shown a lot of confidence. He's mentioned the names of two of the directors in Qatar, and his family decided that this was the best project where we can continue or learn to become coaches, and we like the country a lot. The facilities we also liked a lot. I can only speak wonders of Qatar, I have no doubt we're going to be very happy there, although it's one step towards a different future. And I think that this is the perfect place for my career to continue.
Volia preguntar si això implica que siguis també seleccionador del Qatar i si el teu objectiu és formar-te com a...
Talking about being manager of Qatar, whether he'll manage in Qatar. I don't know. At the moment, it's playing football, but switching my mind towards doing other things in football. As I said, being a manager, director of sport, or I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future. But I can make it clear that I would like it to be here in Barca, and my objective is to go away, learn and train, to be in the right conditions to come back here afterwards. I'm not sure exactly what I'll be doing, whether it'll be coaching, director of sport, I don't know. But I think the Aspire Academy is the ideal place for me to go.
Gràcies a la Masia va arribar al millor Barça de la història, tu mateix ho has dit ara, que no és casualitat, i tu, Xavi, ets el màxim referent d'aquest model.
Talk about the greatest Barca in all history coming out of the Masia. But at the moment, there are only 5 regular starters in the first team that came from the Masia. Is the Masia system coming to an end? But Barca's philosophy, Barca have won these trophies employing the philosophy that we've been using over the last 30 years or so. Sometimes the generation isn't quite as strong to break through to the first team, but there are always going to be homegrown players. Teams that have won the Champions League and made history at this club, there have always been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 products of the academy playing in the first team, and that's when our style of football shows through most and is understood the best. When players come from outside, it's more difficult for them to adapt to our idea. So I think players that come through the youth system here are better poised to triumph.
Hola, Xavi. Bon dia aquí, Xavi Bernabéu de Deportes 4. Gràcies, felicitats per tots aquests anys. Si hay un rival deportivo del que has ido de la mano prácticamente toda tu carrera es Iker Casillas.
Iker Casillas. There's no doubt Xavi's going to get the farewell he deserves, but it doesn't seem like your very close friend Iker Casillas is going to get the same farewell. Do you feel bad about that? Yes, I do. I think it's very unfair what they're doing to Iker. He's given so much to Madrid and to the Spanish national team, and he should be remembered for what he's done. It's not a nice situation for him, and I 100% hope that the whole thing changes, because we've had a strong friendship, me and him, over the years, and I think he deserves much better treatment, and I hope that situation changes, because I think he's suffering and he doesn't deserve that. I think people have been very unkind to him, and that they should remember what he's done, and footballers who've done so much for their club and for the country should be remembered.
Graham Hunter de UEFA.com. De parte de todos que aman al fútbol, gracias por tantos años de alegría. Mi pregunta es básico y fácil. ¿Con qué partido, con qué momento especial?
If he can pick out one moment, one game of all the Clásicos, the World Cup, Champions League, what game would stand out most? Look, that's difficult, really. If I say a game against Madrid, they're going to criticize me. But a lot. I've just enjoyed myself so much. Playing in a Champions League final, I played European Championship finals, World Cup finals, you know, and I've enjoyed those games. But I enjoyed myself when I was playing in the school playground just as much. So, could I pick out one individual game? Well, there's been World Cups and European Championships. There have been Champions League finals and so many experiences with all these wonderful players. It's impossible to pick out one single moment.
Xavi Torres. Et volia preguntar quantes converses has tingut de futbol aquesta temporada, per exemple, amb Luis Enrique?
How many conversations have you had about football this year with Luis Enrique?
La pelopina als cataris. Gràcies.
And how he's going to teach a certain Catalan custom to the Qatari people. No, me and Luis, we knew each other from a long time before. So there have been all kinds of little anecdotes, both from when we played together and now, as we are now, we speak about football all the time. You know, I said before the season started I was going to leave, and he was part of the reason I was convinced to stay. My head was all over the place, but I was honest with myself. And Luis Enrique has always spoken very directly to me, but very professional as well in his relationship. I'd said before the World Cup that I was planning to leave, but he managed to convince me to believe that I could still offer something to this club. You know, we had a lot of very meaningful... And then the pilopina, which I'm not too sure what that is exactly, some Catalan custom, I think, and if he's going to teach that to the Qatari people. But no, he's going to go there to learn from Qatar, to learn from a different footballing culture, and to basically Aspire Academy in Qatar has got so many useful people, so many great people to learn from, and I'm looking forward to that. Is there something perhaps that was missing in his time at Barca? I would love to score a hat-trick, to score an overhead bicycle kick. Yeah. Some of the things I got, but hey, time runs out. We've got 3 games left. So maybe I'll be lucky. Unlikely I'm going to get a hat-trick, but hey. You know, with my friends, I've often said, am I going to get 100 goals for Barca? I think I've got 85, 86 now. Or was it 96? I'm not sure, but I've got that many goals. And, you know, you have certain things that you think about. Me and Andres and Victor Valdez said if we could make it to 5 Champions Leagues, hey, you think about things that you could win, that you could achieve, but let's face it, what we have achieved has been fantastic. Dreams will come true. Some great thoughts go through my head when I think about what's happened here. Players like Andres and Puyol and Victor and Leo, Busi, Pedro. Whew. I mean, what a generation. Unbeatable.
Hola Xavi, Francisco Canal, catenaccio.es. Abans comentaves el fet que per un futbolista de la casa és un avantatge formar-se aquí perquè ja coneix l'estil, el joc. Volia saber si per tu però és també més complicat o més fàcil en el sentit de les expectatives que també té la gent, l'entorn, la família i les comparacions. Abans comentava, per exemple, el fet que havies començat a jugar després de Guardiola.
Sí, va ser difícil els començaments i aquella etapa de 4 anys.
Asking about the early time in his career, and yeah, the first 4 years or so were difficult. There were years when we didn't win titles. It's difficult that people didn't believe in me, didn't believe in the team. Everything had to change. It was a very difficult situation. And I've stayed at Barca because of the fact that Barca has always been my sentiment. I wanted to stay on, my family, my friends. Those are the people that really gave me the force to stay here when things weren't going difficult. And I'm saying it hasn't been
Hola, Xavi, bon dia, aquí baix. Marta Casanovas per 360. Durant la teva carrera esportiva has tingut oportunitat de marxar a equips com el Milan o el Bayern. Creus que per la filosofia...
Talk about chances to perhaps go to Milan and Bayern and teams like that in the past. That perhaps they've had a more physical kind of football that you wouldn't have fit into quite as well. No, I think I've always managed to adapt to different kinds of football, and I think I could have done that perfectly well. But I have to say that my style as a football has been used to the best by this club, and I don't think I could have fit in to other clubs perhaps as well as I have done at Barca.
Volia comentar-te perquè després de tot un any amb constants rumors, com tu també ara parlaves...
Talking about the rumour mongering over this season and finally deciding to leave, was it difficult to announce this decision personally and also to tell his mother? Yeah, I've been a little bit nervous the last few days. My wife she's commented that I've been a bit on edge the last few days, but hey, this is a pretty special situation, a lot of nostalgia and sadness goes through your mind. No, it's a really tough situation, not easy. But I'd always said that I would announce this decision when I felt the decision was right, and I think that this is the ideal moment also for the club. But now it's really a question of making this announcement and now turning my attention to the two finals that we have ahead of us. Obviously, Saturday is perhaps a game more for enjoying and saying goodbye to the supporters. But I think this is a good moment for the club. And we've got a fairly relaxed week because it's going to be a bit trickier for the next 2 weeks.
Bon dia, Xavi. Xavi Hernández pel Dinamarca. El Víctor Valdés va dir, quan va marxar, que el porter que havia de venir havia de parar, sobretot, més que jugar amb els peus. Puyol va dir que havia...
So Victor Valdés talking about the type of goalkeeper that Barca needs, one who can play with his feet as well. And Puyol también described the kind of player who perhaps could take over in his position. Could you describe what kind of person should take over? There's already players in the team. Rakitic, great signing he was, who's adapted very well to the Barca style, coordinates the game very well. Andres Iniesta, we all know what kind of a player is, and he could be the central playmaker. In fact, he's done that a lot this year, and very well. Sergi Roberto could be more important in the next few years. Rafinha also. And then we look into the B team in the academy. There are players coming through as well. And those are players that understand our style of football. They understand the philosophy. They've learned that since they were very young, and that's very important. They have that kind of vision of the game. But I think the most important thing is they understand the way that we play here.
Buenas tardes. Aquí, a Rafa Riverso por Tutto Sports. A su derecha, un poco más. Aquí. Quería preguntar, ¿es posible que el 6 de junio será el último gran duelo entre usted y un jugador como Pirlo?
The 6th of June, he's got his game against Pirlo. Pirlo is also possibly going to make a similar announcement. So could you perhaps talk about Pirlo as a player? And if perhaps there's one player worldwide who could replace Pirlo. I've been playing against Pirlo for 16, 17 years, particularly with the national team. And he's a great player who's perhaps playing more of a central role now. Spectacular player. I've always been a big admirer of the way Pirlo plays. We must have played each other at different levels, huh? And with Milan, now with Juventus. He's in capital letters, a player, he's unreplaceable. There's no player anywhere in the world with the talent in that particular role. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last time we'll play each other. I don't know if he's announced yet that he's leaving, has he? If Juventus win, he's leaving. Well, then let's hope he doesn't go.
Ara sí, fem l'última pregunta, sisplau, Luis Martín.
Hola, soy Luis Martín del País. S'està parlant molt, després de guanyar la Lliga, s'està parlant molt de tu, i hi ha la sensació de que la Copa està guanyada.
Perhaps people are saying that we seem to be speaking as if the Champions League is already won.
Aquest clima amb el que està vivint l'equip i que el pugui afectar.
Sí, se'ns dona per favorits a les dues finals.
Yeah, people seem to be saying that we're the favourites in both of the finals. But no, it's not going to be easy. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but anything can happen in finals. We've got two difficult opponents. Athletic Bilbao are also ending the season very strongly. Juve have already won the double in their country. They'll be a difficult opponent too. This Saturday coming is going to be a bit of a party. We'll be collecting the trophy, but then it's a question of getting serious and thinking about the two finals that we've got ahead of us and the two trophies that we haven't won yet. But if we could win them, it would be a wonderful send-off for me. Well, with a treble, that would be great. Okay, thank you very much. That's the end of the press conference. Tomorrow we'll be back with Luis Enrique, who'll be speaking ahead of the game with Deportivo on Saturday. Thank you for listening. All the best. Goodbye.